Well, that was an interesting night of Champions League football, I think. Welcome back to everyone who's watching. Thank you for coming along. I just wanted to do a quick review of the Champions League tonight because I won't be driving into work tomorrow, so I won't be doing a video tomorrow morning. And yeah, I just thought I'd get this up as soon as I could, really. Just pure box office, really, wasn't that? I feel like everyone's definitely seen what I'm talking about. The Atletico Madrid-Real Madrid game, obviously. I actually had that one instead of the Arsenal game. I had Arsenal in the background on my phone because the tie was dead. We weren't playing a first team. There wasn't really much point in watching it. And before anyone says anything, oh my God, he's not in his car. I know. I do want to do some more videos like this, or I actually want to get in front of a computer screen a bit more and do a bit more in detail videos, just so it's not always me talking in the car with like off the dome stuff, stuff I can actually speak to you guys directly to. But yeah, Real Madrid are through. Atletico cannot get over their voodoo in the Champions League with Real Madrid. I did feel for them. I couldn't get the short to post my predictions, but I literally put my predictions. Atletico will win tonight. It will go to penalties. I did put Atletico to go through on pens. Not the point, okay? Still, that's so close to that prediction. I was quite close to them. I think I had 2-1 Arsenal. No. I had 1-1 Arsenal, 2-0 Aston Villa, and 2-1 Atletico. So it was pretty close, I got the results correct. I got the final results correct, not the scores. But yeah, you got to feel for Atletico. You just have to feel for them. I thought they played really well on the night. They kept Madrid really quiet. Obviously, my team Arsenal have got Real Madrid next now. It's not ideal. It's not the team I would have picked. It's probably the worst draw you can have in the Champions League, really. No matter what season it is, Madrid and Champions League are just a different animal. It's like drawing, I don't know, like Man City in the Carabao Cup a few years ago when they were winning it on repeat. So yeah, but watch Atletico Madrid play against them. I think we can have some hope from that game because Atletico, they showed you how to keep them quiet. I think apart from that penalty that Vinicius Jr. missed, Madrid were quiet pretty much the whole game. Mbappe didn't really do anything apart from that penalty, win the penalty. Vinicius was kept really quiet. And I think our defence has the potential to keep Real Madrid quiet for 180 minutes. I'm probably going to say we're going to end up losing 3-0, but looking at Saliba and Gabriel, I think they can deal with Mbappe. I do. I know they can. They struggled with Isak, but I think Isak's more of a natural striker than Mbappe in terms of his movement and his pressing and his harassing. So, and then you'll have Timber or White up against Vinicius, who was quiet tonight. He was really quiet. So I think if you have that with Saliba backing them up, you'll have Odegaard working on that side as well. Saka will be back fit, so he'll be tracking back. So I think you can potentially keep that side a bit quieter. The side which actually worries me is the man who I didn't see tonight, Rodrigo. If he's playing, he's the one that worries me on that right hand side because our left backs, we haven't got a first choice left back really. I think Mars Lewis Skelly, I don't think you can play him against Real Madrid. I think he's been quality. Don't get me wrong, he's been absolute quality. But it's a risk if I don't know if we're playing the Bernabeu first leg. But either way, to play him at the Bernabeu for either leg is a risk that I don't know if it's worth taking so early in his career. Maybe Mikel thinks he's ready, and if he thinks he is, then by all means. But I would just be a bit wary because it's a lot of pressure. It's a massive game. he's already made a couple mistakes lately with red cards. And a bit sloppy in the Champions League, especially in that first leg in PSV. So I'd be a bit careful with managing who actually plays. I think maybe he goes with Tim. If it was me and you have Ben White fit, you go Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber as your back four. That would give me a lot more comfort. I was happy to see Arteta actually rested a lot of players today. So obviously he's had Odegaard on the bench, Ranieri on the bench, gave Tierney a game, he gave Sterling a game. I was happy to see all of that. So that I think obviously gave Saliba the game off. That was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Now he knows he's got Real Madrid. I know he said, "Oh, I'm not giving up on the league." Technically, he will know himself. The league's gone, so he's going to have to put all those eggs in the Champions League basket now. He'll obviously prepare the guys each week for the games, but he's got to be preparing a game plan now. He's got time. Because Real Madrid can't. This is one thing I was thinking about. Real Madrid are still going for their league title, which means that they're going to be going full throttle in the league and the Champions League. You know, so it's a bit of a benefit for us not being in the title race. It sounds crazy to say this, but not being in the title race might give us an advantage over other teams because we can just focus on the Champions League. We'll get the top four. I don't have no qualms of us getting top four. I think we'll seal that. Villa have still got to fight for top four or top 6 or 7. Like they might not even get into Europe next season. So they're going to focus on that. Bayern Munich obviously focus on their league. They can probably take the foot off the pedal a little bit there, but they won't be doing that as much. Barcelona, Real Madrid are both scrapping with Atletico for La Liga title. So they're going to be going full throttle for them as well. And PSG, well, PSG are in a similar boat to us really. That's the one worry, is that they are so far clear in the league and they're in such good form that they could probably take their foot off the pedal a little bit in the league and rest players when they want to, and still be good to go for the Champions League. And then Dortmund, they're struggling in the Bundesliga, so they're going to be needing to pick up some form, so they'll actually be focused on the league a lot. But my point is that because there's so much time to go, we can get Bukayo Saka back fit, get Ben White some minutes beforehand, get everyone up to speed, and then when we go into the game, we'll probably only be missing Havertz, maybe Tomiyasu, and it's like, okay, we can go with that. If you get Martinelli back fit again, although I don't think it's going to matter too much, he plays on that left wing, to be honest with you, because I think Martinelli and Trossard against Valverde are not going to get much change out of him. So the big battle will be, the big battle will be Saka against Ferland Mendy and what Arteta does with the striker. I said in the previous video I want to see Ethan Ranieri as a false 9. I don't want to see Mourinho up top against Anthony Rudiger. That just doesn't sound appealing to me. It sounds like a very long 180 minutes if that's the case. I want to see him. Sorry about that. I want to see him try something different, not just going with Trossard up top, Martinelli left and Saka right, because that just doesn't fill me with much confidence. But like I said, I think there are cracks in the Madrid team, which we saw again tonight. They are not the same Madrid. But the Champions League does things to teams. So they might not be as good as they were before Mbappe was there. They might not be as fluid. They might be as good, but they might not be as fluid or as secure, or they might have their injuries. It's still Real Madrid in the Champions League, and they're still the most dangerous side in the Champions League. So we're coming into it as underdogs, which suits us as well. Quickly, I just want to talk about the penalty from Vinicius. Lord have mercy, that penalty was horrendous. I don't know what he was trying. I see what he's trying to do. I don't understand how he's trying to do it. You know, he's trying to whip it into the top right corner, And then I'm looking at the penalties that got taken in the shootout, and I'm thinking, how's Mbappe not just taking the penalty? Like, why is Vinicius on the penalties when Mbappe's right there? If you want Mbappe to be number 9, give him pens. Like, clearly he's a better finisher. It just didn't make sense, that. Or Bellingham, like, the guy literally has ice running through his veins most of the time. Bellingham, just give it to him. Like, oh, I don't want to speak on Vinicius, because if I speak my actual opinions, I'll probably get killed. But the word overrated can come into it sometimes. I'm not saying he's not a world-class player. He's world-class, but he is overrated for what people think he is. People think he's like Neymar was, or like Ronaldinho was. It's like, no, he's a world-class player, but he's world-class in a time where there's not that many world-class wingers. You know, I look at Rafinha this season, I think he's probably better than Vinny this season. I don't think that's not really a statement to make. I think he's a better player than Vinny this season. And I just think that he gives me a bit of spoilt child syndrome, Vinicius. Like, Mbappe rocked up and all of a sudden Vinny's not the main man. He's like, oh, throw the toys out the pram. You know, it's just, he hasn't got that Neymar, I don't know, the Neymar flair, like, buzz around him that makes me think, oh, he's a proper generational talent player. I don't believe he is, but I'm not going to go too much into that, because I know I'll get killed if I keep going with that. But yeah, you have to feel for Atletico. They've basically gone out because Julian Alvarez slipped. It's so unlucky that he's just lost his foot, and I think it's maybe about that much. It's one of them ones where I look at VAR and it's like, should VAR be allowed to do that? But I guess it's an illegal shot in a way. Do I think it's something that could be looked at in the future? Probably, because actually it's given him a disadvantage, that, you know, because if he slips, he's most likely going to miss, or he's most likely going to shank the ball wide or something, you know what I mean, if it comes off his other foot. So I think that's something that could be looked at in the future, because it felt wrong to chalk off the goal, because it literally touched by about that much, and it made no difference to the shot. But it is what it is. Shout out to Conor Gallagher for actually scoring in like the first minute. No one had that. Like, I had him to get booked in my bet. I did not have him to score, I'll tell you that for fact. What else was there last night? You had Lille. I was surprised they actually went out. I thought maybe at home they would galvanise themselves and take Dortmund on, but Dortmund, honestly, they could have got 3 or 4 in that game. And maybe they're starting to pick up form again now after their managerial change. They all seem to be a good Champions League team as well. So you might actually see them go a bit deep into competition, but I think with the teams left in it, I'd be surprised if you see Dortmund in the semis. And then finally, congrats to Aston Villa as well. Another English team through to the quarterfinals. They soared through. You know, like I said, I put it 2-0. They got 3. Bruges got a man sent off in the first 15 minutes, so the fans there must have been buzzing. They must have thought, oh yes, this is going to be one of those games that you're going to enjoy. And fair play, you know what? They were just better than them. They were just the better side. Asensio showed his class once again. I thought Rashford played really well, even to get the man sent off in the first place. The run he made, the goal he set up for Asensio was top notch. And people say, "Oh, he wasn't doing it at United." I'm not gonna lie. If he'd done that, if he'd done the run at United, he's not getting found for the ball over the top. And if he is, the ball's going somewhere else. Second of all, the assist that he makes for Asensio, if you watch it, there's about 3 Aston Villa players in the box. When I watch United play, there's maybe 1 other person in the box, maybe 2 at a push. someone maybe Bruno's hanging at the edge of the box. Like if there's bodies in the box, it's much easier for him to find the players, you know. And Emery, fair play to him, he's got him playing top football there. They look like they're starting to click, and they could be going on a decent run because, like I said before, they're going to have to actually perform in a league now, and they've got some tricky fixtures still to come this season. So they're going to need to keep the momentum going for them. And I've said if there's going to be a shock in the next round, you watch Aston Villa PSG because that one, I think to be honest, I think anyone can be anyone in this next round now. I don't think you can conclusively say the final four will be this, and this, and this. But there are obviously favourites in each game. And I would say, obviously, PSG would most likely be the favourites after beating Liverpool. But I can see Villa potentially causing them issues. Again, I don't know who's got the home and the away leg first. When I do my predictions for this stage of the competition, I will delve more into it, obviously. But if Villa are away from home first, they will have a massive advantage, I think, because I can see Emery go into Paris, setting up with a low block or whatever it is, and just hit them on the counter, playing Rashford on that counter with Watkins and maybe he doesn't play Rashford, but he'll definitely have Watkins and Rodgers, and they can hit them on the counter. And if anything, they'll have more pace than Liverpool on the counter attack. So they might actually be able to get out more, and they're not so reliant on the right side of their team. So how Liverpool was so reliant on like Salah on that right side against Nuno Mendes, they're going to be more reliant on the left side of their team and the actual striker. So it might actually work better for them. Because you know you've got Hakimi who loves to fly forward, so there's going to be space somewhere on that left hand side of the pitch. So like I said, I feel like if there's going to be one, it might be that game. I think Villa could go to Paris, maybe get a 0-0, lose 1-0, draw 1. You know what I mean? Like keep themselves quite tight. Because when Emery wants to be stingy, he can be a very, very stingy manager. And I think if he goes there saying, look, defend. If we get something, great. If we don't, it's fine. Just keep it tight. And then you come back to Villa Park, and I've said it in another video, they can beat anyone at Villa Park. They have beaten anyone at Villa Park already. They've beaten Bayern Munich at home. Apologies. They've already beaten Arsenal at home before. They've beaten Liverpool at home. They've beaten all the big teams at home before. So there's no reason why they can't go and do it, particularly with PSG. Now, would I want them to beat PSG if we were to somehow get past Real Madrid? That's another question, because I don't like playing English teams in the Champions League. Not because I don't find it entertaining. I find it too entertaining. It's too emotionally draining, I think, for the players, and there's so much hype around the game. There's so much pressure. It builds it to more than it needs to be in terms of it can turn the game into a whole event for the season. Like I remember when City played Spurs, and I think Spurs only won that tie because it just got blown out of proportions the whole game. Like City, if you played those two games in the league, City win both of them. Because it's Champions League, because the lights are on it, it just completely threw them off. Which is what I feel like because Arsenal would go into that as favourites. That's where I think Arsenal will do better being underdogs in games now. Because there'll be less pressure on us. So, yeah, I have confidence for the Real Madrid game. I would prefer Atletico. But at the end of the day, you have to beat who is put in front of you. You know, you can't be like, oh, we're going to pitch to go against them. We're going to pitch to go against like just players in front of you, and in the end, you have to have a bit of luck, and the best team will win. We've done Real Madrid before in the Champions League many years ago with Henry, and I can't remember playing them since, to be honest. So it'll be quite a special occasion. I'm going to have to try and get tickets, I think. Don't tell the message yet. All right, thank you guys for coming down to watch me talk nonsense again about the Champions League. I hope you enjoyed. It's my first video out of the car, like I said. So hopefully I'll be doing some more content like this. Probably be sat up on my actual desk instead of on the couch, but I couldn't be asked to get my whole setup sorted just for this quick video. Yeah, thank you guys for coming along, and peace.